So let's come to question 4. How will the information historians get from the old newspapers be different from that found in police reports? So the information that historians get from the old newspapers will be based on the account of what the newspaper person, the printing press, saw was happening in the society, whereas from those found in police reports will be from the account of the policeman. So when a crime happens, when a crime that used to happen during that time, it might be from two perspectives. That is, from the perspective of the police officers who said that that crime happened because this thing happened. But from the point of view of newspapers, it might give a certain other circumstances because of which that crime happened. They will not take into account the view of the police officers. They will only take into account of what were the social and cultural and the economical or many other aspects that were attached to that crime. But from the point of view of police officers, it might be just a certain perspective because of which that police report happened. So there will be a difference of perspective. There will be difference of accounts of what they had to say about a specific set of situations, because obviously the police reports will be a government record and it will be from the point of view of the government perspective, and from the newspapers it will be from the view of the printing press perspective. Let's move on to the next question. Question 5. Can you think of examples of surveys in your world today? Think about how toy companies get information from what young people enjoy playing with, or how the government finds out about the number of young people in school. What can a historian derive from such surveys? So in today's world also, we have our survey of every 10 years that the government of India takes. That is survey that happens every 10 years for the population of the country, for the people who are residing, for every specific person, for the records of the population as well as for the livelihood, for the occupation that happened. That is the government survey. The government takes surveys of various policies also that are being happened, when certain things that are introduced in a village. So the government people might go there and take survey from door to door, that what all the things that are still needed in the village area, or what are the things that they are accepting and what are the things that they have a problem with. So that is all about the government. But even for the private companies, even for the private enterprise, they also take surveys in for today's example, we have surveys in the form of calls that comes to us after we have placed an order, or for the ratings that we do. So these all forms survey for today. The rating we do for a Zomato guy also is a survey, because they want to know that how the guy performed or how the food was. So that all is taken into account to form a particular set of data that is that will help them in having to market a product, or having to apply some of better ideas to the thing that they are pursuing. So a historian can derive from such surveys the taste of people, how the people used to live, and how the people actually used to perceive their livelihood as. So these all things a historian can derive from a survey. Now for a quick revision of the chapter. Events timeline in 17. Now again, I said that, and the book said that timeline or the dates are really not important, but it is important. It is just not everything that the history is all about, but obviously it is a very important part of the history. So we have to know about the dates, but history is not all about the dates. It is about so many other things which we learned in this chapter. Now in 1773, Warren Hastings became the first Governor General of India. In 1817, a history of British India was published by James Mill, in which he categorized India into three headings, that is Hindu, Muslim, and British period. In 1857, massive rebellion against British rule broke out in 1857. Now again we can see an example, from the Indian perspective, it was the first war of independence, whereas for the British perspective, it was the Sepoy Mutiny of 1857. So there are again two perspectives of a historical event. In 1920, the National Archives of India was founded, where all the documents, important documents, and all the documents that were there in the British era were kept. All changes and events that happened in the history happened over a stretch of time or a span of time. Therefore, for all the events, we cannot place a specific date. That will be incorrect, because some of the things, they gradually happened. We cannot put a specific date to it. In 1817, James Mill, a Scottish economist and political philosopher, published massive 3-volume work, A History of India. James divided history of India in 3 periods, that is Hindu, Muslim, and British. Apart from the British classification, historians usually classified Indian history into ancient, medieval, and modern. Of course, some historians also gave a point of view that it should be bifurcated into ancient, medieval, and the colonial period, those who had a problem with the modern era. The subjugation of one country by another leads to change of political, economical, and social conditions. This process is referred to as colonization. The Indian territory was colonized by British for a very long time. Sources used by the historians in the writings are official records of the British administration, preserved letters and documents, record rooms where records were preserved for the administrative institutions. However, these sources are written from a British perspective or by those who are literate, leaving out the experience of the history for tribal peasants, etc. So for every event, for everything that has been gradually happening, we have point of view of a certain set of people. We might have left out all those people who were illiterate or poor or did not know how to write. So basically, these are the flaws the history had to offer to us. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed this chapter.